Guys, welcome back to my channel Raising Health, and I'm Colleen the coach. Okay guys, wow, hey, I don't know where you are in the world, but where I am, it's been flipping wild. You know, I'm a South African and I've been in America for 18 months, and I now hear what everyone was saying last winter. They were going, oh, this is mild. My goodness, this year has been really insane. It's been icy cold. I mean, seriously, this cannot be normal. Anyway, but I must say, I have had fun around it. It's given me a lot of time to really think and consolidate as well. Because, you know, suddenly when you're forced indoors and you need to start looking for other ways to keep yourself entertained, you know, it's pretty cool. The books come out and the recipes. I think in the winters, I've had 2 winters now, I've come up with my best recipes. I really made a really nice one today, a spicy black bean soup. I've never made black bean soup in my life, but if I may say so myself, it's quite delicious. And you know, it's creamy. I used some coconut cream and some fresh coriander. Absolutely delicious. Okay guys, what I've also been doing is really looking for, you know, plant-based ways to get more protein into my body. So that's why I'm playing around with these recipes, so that I can start sharing them. So wherever you are in the world, if you're going into winter, perhaps one of these recipes will come in really handy. Okay, so a topic you guys love, and that is intermittent fasting. So guys, before I carry on, I would just like to mention, please, if you enjoyed this video, if you could please push the subscribe button. That would really be most helpful. And if you could share, if you know anyone who would be interested in a teaching channel. This is a teaching channel where I teach you how to eat right for life. And I'm really passionate about, you know, teaching you about food that you can trust. And most importantly, you know, is to embark on an eating plan that is going to have longevity. It's going to treat you right. In that case, you'll be treating yourself right, because you really do not have an option here. I read just a caption of an article this week and on someone's blog, and to be honest, I still have to read it. But the caption was, processed food should be treated in the same way as cigarette smoking is. And you know, the ban on cigarette smoking, how, you know, radical that has become. And I mean, I don't know about you guys, but wherever I go, I hardly see people smoking anymore. Like really, not even outside on the streets or in smoking corners. Like it really is quite impressive, you know. So this is absolutely incredible. Just imagine what would happen if you had that same approach to processed food and sugar, hey? It would be quite an eye-opener, and things would definitely be changing. But I'm just one person, and I'm going to do my best to try and reach as many people as I can, because I want to teach you how to eat right for life. Okay, outside of the food talk, let's talk about intermittent fasting for newbies. Okay, so you guys have obviously heard, I've got this 10-day rezone diet coming out. The book's going to be coming out in the course of this month, and you're going to be able to buy it online. But guys, most importantly, this is a phenomenal 10 days. But that's a different topic. I do have other videos which we'll just add into the content below, and you can just learn a little bit more about this 10-day rezone diet. So on this 10-day rezone diet, one of the practices that I encourage is intermittent fasting. And, you know, not every person that comes my way is, you know, they've heard of intermittent fasting. They really would like to try intermittent fasting, but they're also really nervous about it. You know, they're not quite sure how they're going to feel. And to be honest, some people are really genuinely anxious about feeling hungry. So, you know, you've almost got to mentally coach people into being comfortable with intermittent fasting. And seriously, like I just say to everyone, you know, if they really are consciously afraid and it's something they really want to try, but they're not quite sure where to start, because, you know, everyone is talking about the 16-8. Okay, so there's all these different fasts. I mean, I'm guilty of that as well. I'm always bouncing people around with different fasting times, but that only comes once you have overcome the initial phase. And guys, the initial phase, don't skip this. Seriously, don't skip this. Start slow. So for example, let's say you are the type of person who has breakfast, lunch, and supper. So taking out one meal is probably going to be quite, you're going to be a little bit anxious. So my recommendation is, why don't you just work on a 12-12, okay? So if you have your breakfast at 8 o'clock in the morning, you finish your dinner at 8 o'clock at night. Now that's probably going to be very much in line with what you are already doing in your normal life. But you know what? When you start actually consciously doing this, you'll be like incredibly surprised to realize what goes into your mouth after 8. You know, so you're not really doing, 12 hours and 12 hours of fasting and then 12 hours of your eating window. So really and truly, but I mean, think about this. What if you get up at 6 o'clock in the morning and you get yourself a coffee or a cup of tea and you put in a bit of milk? Ta-da, you are not fasting anymore. Okay, so your body's already in this state of eating. So you've already blown it, but perhaps you can only have your breakfast at 9, doesn't really matter. You're still out of that fasting phase. So when you consciously look at this, and another thing is, so many people go, they finished eating by 8. But that's the same thing, how many people go and get themselves a cup of tea, put in a dash of milk, or as they're walking through the kitchen, and just, a little tidbit from the table left over. And before you know it, you're actually only finishing, like nibbling at 10 p.m. And then at 6 o'clock in the morning, you're like having a coffee with some milk. So you see where I'm going with this? So when you consciously sit down and say, I'm not putting anything into my mouth until 8 o'clock in the morning, and you do your 12 hours and you finish at 8 o'clock at night, and you are conscious about this because now you are intermittent fasting, I promise you're going to be very surprised. Okay, so you know what, do that for a few days, perhaps a week. The thing about intermittent fasting that I love the most is that it's your journey. It's and there's no one size fits all. Everybody is, my fasting times change. I've probably got about 3 different fasting times, so, and I just use them as I need. It's just never, consciously the same. I just listen to my body, because that is one of the major benefits of intermittent fasting. You just go back to your body's natural state and you eat when you want to eat. There are some mornings I wake up and I go, whoa, okay, today I need to have breakfast. And I have breakfast. And then the next day I'm back into the swing of things again. And perhaps I can actually, do a 4-hour window period, which is kind of one of the ones I really like. And, take it from there. But I just, this journey is just so much freedom in this journey of intermittent fasting. I love the freedom of this journey. And, while you're busy, doing your intermittent fasting, your body's doing a natural detox. You'll go into ketosis. Your mindset just becomes so much clearer as well. That is one of my best. And the surge of energy, guys. Okay. So just going back to just doing this conscious 12 hours of eating and 12 hours of fasting. Okay, you settled there. What I recommend, perhaps the following week 2, perhaps start eating at 8:30, okay? And then in the evening, finish eating at 7:30. So now what you've done is you have a 13-hour window and my maths is terrible. I cannot think on the spots. But you know what I mean, hey? Okay, so guys, let's just go back to perhaps your week 3. So now the week before, you're fasting for 13 hours. The following week, you can perhaps be fasting for 14 hours. And then you just build onto that until you get to 16 hours of fasting and 8 hours of eating, which is normally getting you to 12 o'clock. So when you get to 12 o'clock and now you're going to be finishing at 8 o'clock, now everything changes, because in theory, you're skipping a meal. You might even get to 11 o'clock these days. I mean, in the previous week, and because don't forget, you've been like just pacing yourself week for week. Okay, so guys, we are aiming at a window of eating for 8 hours and fasting for 16. That is the aim here. So by the time you get to your 16-8, you're going to find that everything is just kicking in really well. You're now skipping a meal. Your body's starting to detox. And you know what? You really are starting to think a little bit more clearer. You probably, more than likely, are starting to find out that your pair of jeans or the scale is looking more favorable. The jeans are feeling a little bit looser and not so snug. And honestly, this is so motivating. And that fear that you had on week 1 when you were going to play it safe, doing 12 hours of eating and 12 hours of fasting, well, you know what? Like, I can guarantee you within 1 month, you're going to be doing 16-8. And all these great things that I've just mentioned are going to be happening to you. And honestly, once that starts happening, you're going to become a real buff on intermittent fasting. And if you're watching this video, you probably know just as much as I do about intermittent fasting, because people who are curious about doing intermittent fasting, they are doing their homework, they're doing their research, guys. I know that for a fact, because people are just all over intermittent fasting. And you know what? It works. It absolutely works. I mean, you will not have a gut-related issue, you know, if you really practice it and you stick to it and you stay off the sugar and you reduce your alcohol. Honestly, your gut will be in the best shape of its life. And when your gut is in good shape, I can tell you right now, a lot of things are in good shape. So seriously, it really, really is worth trying, guys. And I promise you, it is worth it. The results I get with my clients with intermittent fasting, it is mind-blowing, absolutely mind-blowing. And you know what is so amazing is what I have found with people when they're only perhaps doing 2 meals a day and perhaps like a little light afternoon snack, and I prepare and play. When you eventually watch my videos on the 10-day rezone diet, you know, I also explain it in a way where, like for example, I normally have 2 meals, and perhaps if I do have a little bit of a hungry day, I'll perhaps do some berries in mid-afternoon. But you know, I keep it super simple. And you know what, there's no fuss. Once you start doing intermittent fasting and you've cut the sugar out, guys, seriously, I'm going to say that in every single video, cut out the sugar. Seriously, and processed foods, if it's in a box, go. That blog, I'm going to read it and I'm going to come back to you on that one. Seriously, I like that they should be treating it exactly the same as the cigarette ban. So with that said and done, guys, I'm really and truly here to help you. If you would like to know more about intermittent fasting, I do have other videos on intermittent fasting. Please see below. It'll just give you a little bit more insight to the benefits of intermittent fasting as well. And guys, this is honestly the most powerful tool. You know that so many doctors that I follow, cardiologists, all sorts of doctors, neurologists, I have never in my life just seen just such a wave of passion. There's longevity in this, you know, seriously, your hormones, so many things will improve, you know, absolutely improve. And what are you going to lose? You know, give it a shot. You know, even if you aren't looking to lose weight, guys, it's not just about losing weight. It's about all these other benefits as well, you know. And seriously, like, your body heals faster as well, you know. And with the healing, your body's detoxifying, you're eliminating toxins. So, you know, you don't, seriously, guys, just do it. I promise you right now, you will not be sorry. I just want to mention something. I forget every single week that this little orchid, I cannot believe it, Jim bought this for me perhaps about 6 weeks ago. And it's this tiny little thing in this tiny little bowl. And it's, I keep worrying it's going to fall over. And then I just thought, must have been like 5 videos ago. I can't remember. I thought, let me just put it over here. It'll create a little vibe. And I really thought it would be dead like 2 weeks later. And look at this. And I promise you it's real. I know you've seen it in like every video. You must be thinking, crumbs, what is she doing with the fake orchid? But no, it is the real thing. So if any of you are looking for information on intermittent fasting and you would like to reach out, please do connect with me. There is an assessment form on my website. You'll see it down below. Yeah, fill it in, send it back to me, and we can schedule a complimentary 20-minute chat. I really encourage you to do so, guys. You know, I'm here to teach you how to eat right for life, and I'm passionate about this topic. You know, it has changed my life, and I want to change your life. So I really hope you reach out and just keep learning more as much as you can, and stay away from sugar and processed foods. Okay, guys, love you madly. Please subscribe if you enjoyed this video, and I really look forward to connecting with you next week. And if you know anyone who could potentially be interested in the topic of intermittent fasting, send this along, guys, and there are going to be more videos down below for you to check out. So really and truly, just go for it. Just go for it. Thank you so much, and we'll catch you soon. Ciao, ciao.